بعض الأحيان كتسرق منا بعض الفرص اللي تقدر تغير الكثير في حياتنا، واللي الآثار الجانبية ديالها تقدر تكون واضحة وبشكل كبير، ولكن حتى واحد منا ما كيكونش راد ليها البال. بحيث في خلال مدة تصوير هذا الوثائقي مع الأصدقاء ديالي اكتشفت على أنه من خلال الكلام ديالهم اللي قدموه والأجوبة ديالهم كان فيها الكثير من الأجوبة للمشاكل اللي كنعيشوها كشباب في ضفة العالم الآخر. فبخلاصة تكون مسروقة منك فرصة سفر اللي تقدر تغير الكثير في حياتك، هي فعلا إشكالية كي توجب علينا ناخذ فيها الكثير من الإيمان.
I've been living here for 3 years now, and I was born in Angola, but I was raised in Namibia. I speak 4 languages: English, Afrikaans, Spanish, and Portuguese. And I'm an English teacher here in Madrid. Apart from that, I also work as a counselor in summer camps.
It has been one of the greatest blessings to be here in Madrid, and I would honestly like to thank my sister, because if it wasn't for her, I would have completely lost myself. So being here in Madrid, it's been amazing, good or bad. It's been great.
So before Madrid, I was living in Dijon, France, and I was there for about 2 years, doing the same thing, working as an English assistant in a high school. And so after 2 years in France, I loved it. But I was thinking I wanted to try out another country and see if I loved it just as much. So I came to Spain, and kind of naively, I thought it would be just like France, but it's not. There's a different language, and the culture is very different, besides the countries being right next to each other. And I think there's also the difference in my French is completely fluent, and I'm learning Spanish. And so at some ways, and also we're living in a big city, Madrid. So in some ways I feel like it was harder and it is harder to integrate into like Spanish society, since I'm still learning Spanish, and it's a big city, so it's kind of more, in a way, more anonymous. You're not as close with people, I think.
I left England to come to Spain because I was bored in England, didn't know what to do. A lot of other reasons, and also I moved there mainly for my then girlfriend, who lived in Madrid, and I was teaching English for a while, and then after a few years, 3 or 4 years of teaching English, I decided I wanted to get a more challenging job, and I enrolled in dental school in Madrid.
مدريد من بين المدن الكبيرة في أوروبا، بحيث كتحتل على المرتبة الرابعة، واللي كيجعل منها واحد المدينة اللي مليئة بالجنسيات المختلفة. حيت واحد النهار كتب لي في واحد الحفلة نتواجد مع 15 شخص من 12 دولة مختلفة، واحد الإحساس صراحة جميل جدا. وعدد السكان فيها كيبلغ حسب الضواحي 6,140,000 نسمة، ومساحة كتعدى 607 كيلومتر مربع.
You left me in the dark now, and I'm blended with disease.
I wanted to study and work outside Romania because I wanted my career path to be more international, and I thought that studying abroad would allow me to get to know more people from different countries and have a more dynamic interaction with people from all around the world.
My name is Ahmed. I'm from Morocco, and I'm living here in Madrid. It's going to be about 2 years ago now. So I'm working here in Madrid, and not a long time ago, we have stopped these days because of quarantine. The process, to be honest, for coming from a country like Morocco, it's really a hard process. It's really difficult for us to come here, whatever, for studying or having a job or anything. Even that you have the talent, you have too much capacity, and Yeah, and it's hurting a little bit that you're not able as everyone, as all my friends that I have met over here in Madrid, that they have this flexibility to come to visit Europe or whatever in the earth like easily.
Originally I chose to live in Madrid because I wanted a change of pace and a change of culture, but also I wanted a chance to live in Europe, to be able to travel and of course experience a different way of life. But I think more than anything, I really would love to learn Spanish.
Yeah, I really like living here. It's much more relaxed than like the US. And I think it's partly like the job I have here and just also the culture in general. I am an English assistant teacher, so it's not quite like actually what I wanted, but so in the US I am a teacher and I have my like degree and certification for primary and preschool education. But in Spain I can't like use any of that, and so the way Americans get to come over is on a student visa. And so it kind of like went along and you can be a student visa and teach English. And so I do like teaching and I like working with kids and all the things that like come along with it. But I don't really have a passion for teaching English. It's kind of an easy way to get to Spain. It kind of goes along with like what I want a little bit, but yeah, it's not really like necessarily teaching. It's more of like a teacher assistant position. So you're just kind of do whatever the teachers want, which when you have a background in education can be really difficult because the methodology that they use is very different than what I would choose. So to be fair, I've heard lots of different experiences in Spanish schools, and I've only been at one. In the US, I was at over 14 different schools, and a lot of charter schools, a lot of public schools, some private schools, just everything. And so I have a lot more experience obviously in the US as a teacher than I do in Spain. My school in Spain, they did not do like any like active education at all, so like it's all like very much like I'm going to lecture you and that's what we'll do and you should be quiet. And like it's kind of like that where like obviously in the US, especially now, and in primary school we do so many like center activities, like teamwork, collaborative stuff for the kids, and also try and make our learning a little bit more hands-on. Being here, like I mean I definitely can like learn things as a teacher, and I think it will add to my experiences and like how I will like behave as a teacher.
In Spain, I am a language assistant, so I teach English to children. The youngest age I teach is 3 years old, and the oldest age I teach here in Spain with the program is, I think they're 16-year-old. But I only teach from ages 3 to 6 and then 12 to 16. So basically, I'm not here to teach them grammar or to give them tests. I'm here more to get them speaking and to help them feel more comfortable with the language. And I'm here to just give them the opportunity to know someone that's outside of their circle, because I think a lot of people don't have the opportunity to meet foreigners. So my job is to expose them to a different world in English.
Yes, so I chose Spain because I wanted to become fluent in another language, and I wanted to become fluent especially in Spanish because it's very important in the US. Regardless if you're working with immigrants or you're working with people that are, just working in the US, it makes you more, more competitive for jobs, and also it's just, I think languages are beautiful, and so it's something I wanted to do. And after reaching fluency in French, I thought it would be easier to do that in another language. And I chose Madrid because I did live in Paris for a little bit, but I've never really lived in like a big city, and so I wanted to have that experience.
I take Spanish classes, so I do know something, but when I have to speak, it's like it all disappears. I do try to communicate like to people in Spanish. I don't go to intercambios because they make me so nervous here in Spain for some reason. I think maybe because the city is so big, it makes me really nervous to do the intercambio thing, like go to a bar and meet people. But I do do the Tinder thing and go on dates, and sometimes those dates speak Spanish, And so I'll spend a date speaking Spanish, and that's a really nice experience. And after I can do something like that, I always feel like, I did it.
you will need to apply for a visa. So, and this is it's gonna take for you like a long time. It's going to take from you as well a long process. Like you have to, you have to earn a good salary. You have to be earning a good salary in Morocco in order you to afford this kind of thing. And it's one of the like the basics for getting a visa in Morocco. You have to have a good job, you're earning a salary which is so good, and or a rich family. So that's it. It's really disappointing because for me, I really would like all my community to be able to travel, because this is gonna help this community for too many things. They're going, we will have more opportunities, and this is gonna be something good for everyone.
I don't think my family have particular feelings about me being in Madrid, because we come from a family where we're very well spread out geographically. For example, my older sister is living in France. I've got a couple of uncles and aunts in Canada, some in America, so we're quite a spread out family.
I think after the 3 years in Korea, they're like, okay, she's in Spain. I don't think they think anything about it. I think my mom and my dad, of course, they want me to come home, but I think they realize that I'm happy here, and for them, I'm living, my life in the way that I can.
Leaving a third world country to come to a first world country was a really big change, and I for a fact know that the way I think is completely different, the way I see things is completely different, the way I want my life to be is different. The moment I left home, I told myself I would only go back home when I've gathered enough information being in a first world country to take home to help my community. So when COVID happened, I knew that if I did go back home, I would at least be taking my life back 5 years. So even though my paycheck was cut and I didn't have that much money to actually spend, I told myself that if worse comes to worse, I would rather struggle in Europe than struggle back home.
The things that my country need to improve, the people to be able to travel to other places, it's definitely to give the people them rights 100%, and because to be honest, the salaries in Morocco are very, very low, and this is one of the bad things. And let's see, one of the reasons, important reasons, that's not allowing people to go to visit or even to study or even because to travel and to have opportunity to go to another place. It's definitely gonna change you, and it's gonna give you more or much power in order you to challenge yourself, to discover who you are. There is too many things that maybe you have some capacities that you don't know it. So you need to be challenged yourself. You need to go into this kind of challenges in order you to discover who you are, and yeah, it's gonna be better for people to travel. To be honest, the education is really one of the important things that people need to have in my country, because to be honest, there is a lot of illiterate people, and it's one of the bad things that let's say also one of the reasons making the country not to go as fast as it should be. And I hope one day the community to understand that without studying, without science, without education, you will never go, or you will never achieve what you're looking for if you're not going to be an educated man or an educated person.
My Spanish isn't as fluent as I would like it to be, but I can get by. I can survive.
So when I was working in Spain, I was expected to speak both English and German at a fluent level. mainly because on a daily basis I had to interact with both the German and Austrian courts or lawyers. But the language spoken in the office was English, and sometimes it was hard to switch from one language to another, especially when hanging up on a phone and then having some colleagues asking you questions in English, whereas you're still stuck into the German drawl of knowledge. So sometimes it was a bit difficult, but then it wasn't really something hard to cope with, mainly because on a daily basis I switch from English to German to Romanian or even to Spanish, although I'm only speaking it at a conversational level nowadays.
So before I came here, I took Spanish in university for 4 years. And so I had the basis understanding of Spanish, but I didn't have any conversational skills because I never studied abroad.
In my opinion, it might be unpopular, but I don't think learning a language in a school setting is very helpful. And so after learning that with French, I'm kind of trying to take a similar approach with Spanish. So right off the bat, I started watching series, even if I didn't understand it, Spanish with Spanish subtitles. I started watching YouTube in Spanish, podcasts, music.
Definitely, I will tell everyone in Morocco that has the opportunity to travel, just do it, because it's gonna add too many things into your life, because it's really, really amazing to discover other countries and other cultures. It's really one of the things that I've had in my life, and I'm thanking God for this.
That is also a very good question, because personally I have struggled a lot with what I want to do. I know I love to do a lot of things. I'm currently writing a book. I would love to become a YouTuber. I would love to invest in anything that's artistic in terms of photography or dancing. But I'm also very much into humanitarian work. I'm also very spiritual, so I would love to do missionary work. I know that I will be a UN ambassador one day. I don't know how it will happen, but I know I will be. I also know that I will be famous. And when I say famous, it's not all about the money, because for me, I just want what I need, and I want to be able to give to people that has been through certain situations I have been through in life. And as a refugee, I would love to go to refugee camps and help them, be it spiritually, be it in terms of medicine, because I studied nursing, or even just by doing charity work. Not even, it doesn't have to be about money, it just has to be about you being present and helping people in ways you can. So for a fact, I do know that those are my main goals, and I know that will happen. I don't know when, but I know it will happen.
I don't feel like I would move back to England anytime soon. I would like to try somewhere different, somewhere new, since I've spent most of my life in England. And now, after my time is done in Madrid or Spain, I'd like to try something new.
My goals remained unchanged, so I still want to find an international job, meet people from different countries, having different backgrounds. So at this stage, I'm not really sure if I will remain in Romania or move abroad. But it probably depends on the position which I will find. But I would be really happy to change the cities, but it really depends on the job and on the opportunities overall.
I think if I could choose at this moment in time to stay abroad the rest of my life, I would do that. But I mean, I recognize that my home is in Georgia, my family is there. But at this time, like, I don't have anything left in the US, you know? Like, my life has been abroad for the last 4 years. It'd be hard to go back, I think. But if I have to go back, of course, like, that's my home.
I would definitely call Madrid home. I have met some people that have made me feel things that I haven't really felt before with family members, if that makes sense. Yes, I love my parents, I love my sisters, I love colleagues, friends, everybody that has been there for me back home. But coming to a different place and meeting a random person and just clicking in an instant, and then one conversation leads to the other, and then all of a sudden you meet somebody else, and it's like, I have a family here. I have a family of different ethnicities, not just Spanish people. I have Americans, I have people from Colombia, I have people from Senegal. It's like we're this huge family of just different cultures and different people, different personalities. It's great. I know that if anything, they will definitely be there for me the same way my family back home would. So Madrid is definitely home.
Sure, at the moment. I mean, like, it's where I live and it's where my friends are. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's what makes it home. So
I want to say yes, but it's not a complete yes. Like, it is home, and it even felt like home when I visited Madrid for the first time 2 years ago as a tourist. But I don't know, I think home's complex. So yes, it is home because I have friends I love here, and I do feel like I fit in, but in a way it's not. I don't know if anyone's ever 100% home, especially if you move all the time. Like, you're always missing somewhere and missing people. And there's the question too, when you're not a part of that culture, if you never feel like 100% like you fit in. So it's mostly home.
I think for me, wherever I have my suitcase at the moment is home, and wherever I can make my friends at the moment is home. Athens, Georgia will always be my first home, but I think at this point in my life, I don't know if I have like a place. Home is where I enjoy being, and I think I was talking to friends the other day, when I leave Madrid and I go for a travel, when I come back or during this travel near the end, I think I want to go home, and that home is always where I'm living at the moment. You know, it's never back in Athens. So for me, I think home